Hey everyone, Gonna for everyone else living. I hope you're having a very Merry Christmas and enjoying the holidays. Today I present to you 10 times Daleks came across as good to celebrate their return on New Year's Day 2021 in Revolution of the Daleks. Based on the trailers and promotional materials, the Daleks are being used as defense drones for the human race by people who think they can control them, but as we know, you can never trust them. This video will look at various stories through the years where the Daleks have either pretended to be good for their own means, or in later years have a slight chance of having goodness inside them. In the comment section below, please let me know your favourite Dalek moments, where they're being the most cunning and evil in the comment section below. Firstly, we have the first appearance of the Daleks back in 1963, the second story in the show's history. The first Doctor, Susan, Ian and Barbara arrive on the planet Skaro where they meet the Daleks in their city. They're at war with the Fowls, so the opposite to the Daleks, being peaceful humanoid pacifists who live outside the city. The Daleks send Susan to retrieve anti-radiation drugs outside the Dalek city for the TARDIS team and Daleks who want to leave the city they're trapped in. Susan makes a broker between the Fowls and the Daleks. The Fowls come in peace, wanting to collaborate and make peace, but the Daleks are plotting revenge. When the Fowls make it to the city to collect food, they exact their revenge and exterminate the leader of the Fowls. The Daleks attempt to use the anti-radiation drugs on themselves. Once they realise they are fatal to them, they decide to radiate the rest of the planet, killing the rest of the Fowls, so the Daleks can be the dominant race of Skaro. But in the end, the Doctor, the Companions and the Fowls defeat them for now by wiping out the Dalek city's power supply. This demonstrates not just their evil nature, but how cunning and sly the Daleks can be to get their own evil ways. Secondly, we have The Power of the Daleks from 1966. The newly regenerated second Doctor, Ben and Polly arrive on the planet Vulcan, where they come across a 2-century-old capsule with Daleks inside who are dormant. A scientist called Leston wants to reactivate them as he thinks these machines could help the colony advance. With the Daleks' weapons removed and low on power, the Daleks need to comply with the request of the colony to regain their power to build a new army of Daleks. This leads to fun moments with the Daleks becoming servants to the people of the colony, with glimpses of the old Dalek, but ultimately have to hide the evil side for their end goal. The famous line from the Daleks saying suspiciously, "We are your servants," to a distrusting Doctor and audience is played on in a later story in this list. Slowly but surely the Daleks get the power they need and build a new army of Daleks in secret. Some of the humans of the colony want to use the Daleks' weaponry to kill the innocent rebels of the colony, which they start doing, but once they know they have the upper hand, the ruse is lifted and the battle for the colony commences. Similar to the first Dalek story, the second Doctor uses the Daleks' power against them and defeating them once again. This story presents the Daleks' power in terms of intelligence, and as they manipulate people playing on their fears and emotions for their own gains, reinforcing how threatening they can be. Thirdly, the evil of the Daleks was the last 60s Dalek story, which sees the second Doctor and Jamie trapped by the Daleks to implant the Dalek factor, the qualities that makes Daleks the evil killing machines. They're ordered to spread this throughout time and space by the Dalek Emperor. Jamie is used as a test subject to identify the human factor as an experiment. The Doctor uses the human factor against the Daleks by transferring the human qualities into 3 Daleks, who the Doctor names Alpha, Beta, and Omega. He thinks that the human factor would lead the human Daleks to be friendly to humanity with good intentions. All hopes of the Doctor's plan is squashed when the 3 experimented human factor Daleks are taken prisoners by the Daleks and destroyed due to not obeying and questioning the Dalek programming. Instead of giving the Daleks a Dalek factor, he spreads the human factor to the rest of the Daleks who attack the Dalek Emperor, which leads to the Dalek city being destroyed. This looks to be the final end for the Daleks, but as we know, Daleks always survive. The idea of human Daleks is explored later on this list, but it shows that the Daleks have the potential for good, but ultimately it would go against everything that makes a Dalek a Dalek. Fourthly, Death of the Daleks, the last story of the Jon Pertwee era, sees the Doctor and Sarah Jane Smith trapped on the planet Exelon due to energy drains from the planet. Also trapped are a team of Marine Space Corps and a squadron of Daleks. The energy has resulted in the Daleks' energy weapons being disabled, which forces the 3 teams to work together to survive the hostile natives and to get to the lost city of the planet for them all to escape. The Daleks comply with the Alliance on the surface, but behind the scenes are working on machine gun weaponry to gain the upper hand in the Alliance. Through the journey to the lost city, Daleks and humans are lost to the traps on hostile elements of the planet. As soon as their new weaponry is ready, They attack in force, taking control of the Exilons, who are natives, and humans as well from the Marine Space Corps. They reveal their true intention was to use a rare element found on the planet called Perinium to create a plague that spreads across every planet except their own. Due to a switch of the rare element with Sandbags, and Galloway, who's a member of the Marine Space Corps, detonates bombs on the Dalek ship before it fires its plague missile on the planet. This reinstates how at the first chance they get, the Daleks will turn on you once they have the abilities to take control. But until then, they will lie their way through an alliance for their evil intentions to become the dominant beings of the universe. Fifthly, we have Revelation of the Daleks, which jumps to the 80s. The 6th Doctor and Perry arrive on the planet of Necros to visit a facility called Tranquil Repose, where the rich have their bodies cryogenically frozen until the medical science can cure them. The Great Healer, who is the mastermind of this, is revealed to be the creator of the Daleks, Davros, who has been lying, using the organic material in cryogenic storage to create a new army of Daleks that obey him. To distract them from his ultimate goal and to gain power, he used the bodies who aren't used to make new Daleks as food for the starving and developing universe. The Daleks from Skara, who obey the Dalek Supreme, destroy Necros Daleks and take the Daleks prisoner. The Doctor gives the people of Necros a new food source using the plants from the planet Necros. This is a sickening scheme, so it doesn't show the Daleks as good, but the ruse Davros uses to get his new army of Daleks made, infiltrating the starving planet of the universe as a saviour, being called the Great Healer, shows how far they will go to get what they want, even if it's immoral and disgusting. And number 6, we have Dalek, the first revival story featuring the Daleks. This sees the 9th Doctor and Rose receive a distress signal from a collector's museum. He discovers to his dismay that this creature is a member of a race he thought was destroyed, a Dalek. It's damaged after the fallout of the Time War. Rose takes pity on the weakened Dalek and touches it, resulting in the Dalek absorbing her DNA and time energy from her time in the TARDIS to re-energise itself, escaping from its bonded cell and killing guards galore. The Dalek discovers he's the last in the universe and had no commands from his species, so reverts back to its basic instinct of killing anything that is not Dalek. When Rose gets stuck in the Faranon, he tries to kill her and Van Statten, who imprisoned the Dalek in the first place, but due to absorbing Rose's compassion in her DNA, the Dalek has developed emotions and is evolving into something new, but is unable to cope and requests Rose to give him the orders of self-destruct in an emotional scene. This mesmerising episode shows how destructive one Dalek can be, but begs the question what a good Dalek would look like. It stops killing and starts to feel emotions, which goes against the programming of the Daleks. Although it can't cope with the changes, it goes to show a good Dalek is possible, something you'll see later in this list. A 7, Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks. The series 3 two-parter sees a Doctor and Martha encounter the Cult of Skara in 1930s New York. The last 4 Daleks are plotting to evolve into the final experiment to use the humans as a new race of Daleks, with Dalek Zek, the leader, becoming a half-human, half-Dalek mutation. The Daleks intend to use humans as Dalek hybrids, but as Dalek Zek evolves, he wants to change the original intent of the new Dalek species to become a maybe peaceful race, remaining their humanity. The Doctor, who's originally against the idea, is willing to help with Dalek Zek's human side coming through after witnessing the death of Solomon after the Daleks exterminate him. The other 3 Daleks don't share the same view and change the actions of the Doctor and Dalek Zek, taking away their humanity, but the Doctor gets in the way of the lightning strike, allowing them to question the Dalek orders in the process. Dalek Zek sacrifices his life as the Daleks attempt to exterminate the Doctor. This could have been the start of a new beginning for the Daleks, being a peaceful, non-dominating race. This goes against their original creator, and the 3 Cult of Skaro Daleks won't let it happen. It results in Dalek Khan being the only survivor after the human Dalek army turns on them. He emergency teleports away after the Doctor tries to appeal with Dalek Khan after witnessing the genocide of a potential new species and the death of the hybrid Dalek Zek. He's still willing to help the last of the Daleks who destroyed his home and people after seeing a glimmering hope with Dalek Zek. After all destruction, he's still willing to be kind. Number 8, Victory of the Daleks, the first Dalek story of the Matt Smith era. The 11th Doctor and Amy are in World War II after being asked for help from Prime Minister Winston Churchill. The Doctor reunites with his greatest enemy, the Daleks, who are helping England in its fight against the Nazis. The Doctor is told that they've been invented by Bracewell, the scientist, as man-made weapons. This leads to a callback to Power of the Daleks, with instead of the Daleks saying, "I'm your servant," it's been changed in homage to I Am Your Soldier. The Doctor plays along but loses it when the Dalek offers him tea. The Daleks use his angry testimony to activate the progenitor to create a new race of paradigm Daleks, as they again are the last Daleks in existence due to the events of the series 4 finale. As they have what they want from the Doctor, their plans revealed, and they exterminate soldiers and go off to activate the progenitor. Unfortunately, the Paradigm Daleks see the Ironside Daleks as inferior and they are exterminated by them. But with a Jammy Dodger and Spitfires, the Doctor fends off the new Paradigm Daleks, but they manage to get away in the end. It proves what lengths the Daleks will go to, embedding themselves into Earth's history to rebuild their race, but as soon as they have what they want, they take no prisoners. This storyline looks to line up with the story for the New Year's Day special, Revolution of the Daleks. I wonder how long it will take for those Daleks to turn on their creators. Number 9, Asylum of the Daleks, a Series 7 opener with the 11th Doctor, Amy and Rory. They are captured by the Dalek Parliament to go to the Asylum planet of the Daleks, the planet of the Daleks that are insane. There's been a breach, so the Daleks send the Predator of the Daleks with his companions to put up the force fields, because they are too scared to go down there themselves. They meet Oswin Oswald, who's trapped on the planet after it crashed there. She helps the Doctor, Amy and Rory through the dangers of the planet, but when the Doctor eventually meets Oswin, he discovers she's been a Dalek this whole time. She was converted into a Dalek, but her will and determination in the conversion process, with her repeating the words eggs, revered the process. She's created this fake reality and room around her, but when she realises a dream, she starts to kick into the Daleks' exterminating ways. After the Doctor gets through to her, she asks the question why the Daleks hate him so much. He replies by saying by the amount of times he defeated them, and she replies by saying that the Daleks grow stronger in fear of the Doctor. Due to the Doctor starting out travelling the universe at the same time as the Daleks, it expresses a yin and yang situation, similar to the question who came first, the chicken or the egg. Oswin uses the last of her humanity to help the Doctor, Amy and Rory escape, and announces herself as a human and not a Dalek. Because of her determination, she went against the mental programming of the Daleks and came through the other end as the winner against the Daleks. But this wouldn't be the last we saw Oswin, as she would turn out to be the next companion due to wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. At number 10 we have Into the Dalek. The new regenerated 12th Doctor asks his companion Clara to help him go inside a Dalek. They are miniaturised and put inside Rusty, who's asking for help after being damaged. The Doctor initially refused to help the Dalek, but he wants to destroy other Daleks and hates his own kind. After journeying inside the Dalek, the Doctor fixes the crack in the system and he reverts back to his basic programming of exterminating. Clara gives the Doctor hope and reminds him what could have been with a good Dalek, so he decides to help him regain his morality by recreating the moment that changed his programming by seeing a star being born. Rusty shares the Doctor's mind and starts to see the beauty of the universe and the Doctor's soul, where he sees his hatred of the Daleks. He goes on a rampage announcing death to the Daleks and kills the remaining Daleks on the base. The Doctor, questioning whether he's a good man or not, is told by Rusty he would make a better Dalek than him, due to the amount of destruction the Doctor has caused against the Daleks. Rusty then leaves on a mission to destroy the rest of his own kind. We see him again in the 12th Doctor's final story, Twice Upon a Time, where Rusty is destroying Daleks who come to him to destroy him from going against the Dalek conditioning. This re-explores the idea of where the Doctor and the Daleks would be without each other. It goes to show you can't have one without the other. So I hope you enjoyed this video running through the history of the Daleks, gearing us up for Revolution of the Daleks on New Year's Day 2021. As always, please comment, like and subscribe. You follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Links and stuff in the description below. How excited are you for Revolution of the Daleks? I know I am. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye!